Honestly, there is no story I will not hear today. There is no story I will not see online. So right now, this is what white folks are now saying. How does that even make sense? Like, I'm trying to wrap my head towards it. But anyways, you guys know the way I always do my thing. At the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and digest this step by step so that we can literally understand if what white people are literally saying, it is true or not. First, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. For disclaimers, this is just for educational purpose. I stand a chance to be corrected. Feel free to correct me in the comment section. And yes, guys, with that being said, let me roll out the clip first so that you guys can watch, and I'll be back with commentaries.
Black privilege is the most prominent form of privilege in America today, and we have examples to prove it.
There's BET, there's Black Awards, there's this and this and this. There's all kinds of black privilege in this country, and white people get called racist. I don't give a fuck that you guys have your own things and do all this shit. That's fine with me. But don't fucking tell me that there isn't an anti-white narrative going on in society, because there is, and there has been since the day I was fucking born. I'm not allowed to say I'm proud to be white. You're allowed to say you're proud to be black. Latinos are allowed to say I'm proud to be Latino. But if a white person says, oh, I'm proud to be white, it's white supremacy. I could go to the internet and find 1,000 examples of black people saying ignorant shit about white people, and you have a very hard time finding public figures that are saying that same shit about black people. In fact,
I can find one.
It does. Really?
Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
What's your favorite black privilege?
My favorite black privilege is when you're in the store and you need help, there's always someone right there next to you. Always, from the minute you enter the door, there's someone who's gonna be following you in every aisle to make extra sure they help you. And then there's another person who just passes casually, looking at you from the side eye to make sure you don't need anyone to help you. Oh, I love it. Guys, being black is a privilege.
Black privilege is getting worse by the year. And by worse, I mean they're getting more bold with their schemes and their actions. I do find it pretty funny, though, when you have those interviewers on the street, they go up to a bunch of black people, they're like, you got 100 fish, and 13 of the fish cause half of the problems. What do you do with those 13 fish? Almost every time the black people say get rid of the fish. Black people, you're lucky we don't have the same mentality of you. Otherwise, y'all'd be gone.
Black privilege, these people are so delusional. And then he went on to lie, talking about some interviews that he see black people do, talking about, oh, if 13 fish in a pond were creating problems, what would you do with the 13 fish? I ain't never seen that a day in my life. All y'all do is lie, scam, cheat, and steal, grape, and pillage. Y'all literally, anything that you come into contact with, you have destroyed. You all are the most destructive people on planet Earth. Talking about 13%, you all are only 7% of the world's population, yet you cause the most harm and destruction. You're doing cloud seeding to mess with the weather. You're trying to block out the sun because you can't survive in it. All we want is for you to leave us alone. Y'all just cannot take that you actually have consequence and repercussion for being racist, terrible people, destructive, evil, demonic, and wicked. We don't put our head down and cross the street politely like a house slave when you walk past us anymore, and you can't stand it. It's not about privilege. It's about getting closer to what equality would actually look like. And you all cannot take it. It threatens you. You're afraid. Now you gonna lie at the end and talk about if we were like you, then you'd be going, y'all motherfuckers been trying to wipe us out. And guess what? You can't. You cannot. You have failed time and time again, because we are, I don't even got to say it. We are who we are. You've tried. We are a very representation of the ancestors that survived the lynchings, The burning down our communities, the bombing us, the literally flooding out our communities. Y'all done tried to do paper genocide. Y'all literally put all types of chemicals, y'all pump all types of stuff into the water sources in our communities. Y'all put all of these bad fast food restaurants and liquor stores on every goddamn corner. Y'all done introduced all types of famine and disease, and we still procreating. Y'all had to create fertilization and in vitro and all of this other shit so y'all can have babies. Through everything, we're still here. Talking about if we was like you, if we was like you, then you would have a motherfucking problem because y'all done tried and it failed. You would not be able to survive half the shit that we did at the hands of you. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. This fucking delusion, the cognitive dissonance. How dare y'all get up here and try to destiny swap and literally point the fingers when all of them are pointing back at you? You are the very thing that you complain about. And I see y'all in the comment section talking about all the crews, the brawls. I could pull up 100 fucking videos right now of y'all fighting at bars, fighting on cruise ships. Y'all's kids going to schools and power the schools up. So who really is the problem? Just leave us alone. But y'all can't. Because y'all are obsessed, threatened, and something is wrong. It's psychosis.
Friends, do your cohorts ever get tired of being insufferable? Because I get tired of it. But since this is here, let's just go ahead and break it down. Let's read it. Y'all trash talk, bash us, say you're better than us, and we aren't allowed to say anything. That's black privilege. It's almost funny. And there's so many things, but let's just start from the beginning. So first off, I want you guys to pay attention to something. Now, I've said this before. White people have this tendency and this convenience of being able to bounce back and forth between being a collective or being an individual. They do whatever suits them. So what we have here is an individual speaking for the collective. She's in her feelings, so she's making it about all of them so she doesn't sound like a whiner, because that's what she is, instead of making it just about herself and how she feels, because this comment has nothing to do with the video that she responded to. I was responding to somebody who made a racially inflammatory comment, but yet she comes here to try to reprimand me. Now, when she says y'all, she's talking about the black community as a whole. When she's saying us, she means her, but she's throwing in white people to make it, less individualistic. But let's talk about it. If you're implying that we as a collective have no reason to talk about y'all the way that we do, your community as a collective, then you are delusional. And I've always said that y'all live in this perpetual state of false equivalence and delusion. You really do, because you think that everything is unfair, but it's unfair to you. You have no concept of what it means to be fair because you've never had to be. You've been entitled and privileged your entire life. You were born into it. And that's why you feel like you have the right to come and center yourself in a conversation where nobody was talking to you. I was responding to somebody who made a direct comment about my community. Why are you here? Why do you feel like you have the right to come and reprimand me? And you have nothing to say about what she said. You're making this about you, and because that's what y'all do. And I already know this, my people know this, but nobody just sits around trash talking and bashing y'all. And when have white people ever not been allowed to say something? All you've ever done is say and do whatever you feel like doing. And it's always been okay. What you're upset about is that you see us pushing back. We're not docile and meek anymore. We talk to y'all. We talk to you and we match your energy. You disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you. That's what you're seeing, and that's what you're upset about. You don't want it over here. I promise this ain't the page for you to try to come over here and do this. You've probably done it on other people's pages and just got banned or blocked, but I'm going to leave you here so my people can talk to you, because y'all are going to learn to stop playing. You're going to learn to stop playing with us. You have no place in this conversation, so you need to exit the premises and don't come back. You're not welcome in this.
About this, is the black privilege in the room with us right now? Well, some people appear to believe that it is. And interestingly, this notion that black people are actually victims of special treatment rather than racism isn't new, as I said in this video.
In the U.S. in 1875, Congress passed legislation that banned all discrimination against former enslaved people in public spaces. But then, in 1883, the Supreme Court found that law to be unconstitutional, and Justice Joseph Bradley even stated that, quote, there must come a time when blacks cease to be a special favorite of the laws.
Keep in mind that that was just 18 years after the abolishment of slavery. The supposed special favorites he was talking about were freshly formerly enslaved. And although free, lynchings were still a thing that were largely tolerated by US state and federal officials, so black privilege where? And around that time, some Latin American countries were enacting policies to dilute the black race. Black privilege how? And Britain experienced such a violent race riot a couple of years later that 700 ethnic minorities had to be temporarily removed from their homes. Black privilege privilege who? Heck, even our beauty standards have been historically dictated by proximity to whiteness, and the long-standing dehumanization of black bodies has led to this unconscious and sometimes very conscious belief that some populations are more deserving of compassion than others. And we get to a point where non-white populations facing discrimination, injustice, genocide are stripped of their humanity and deemed unworthy of help or empathy. See, the term black privilege is often used as a way to dismiss very real conversations about systemic racism and structural inequality.
So my coworker just told me this, right, y'all? It said that light-skinned people have the same privileges as white people. Yeah.
You know, I'm like a person that is like, I won't try to hate on someone that knows less than me, because, you know, you don't teach anybody by yelling in their face, like, oh, you're dumb, you this. I can't do that now. This guy just said, black people have the same privilege as white people. I don't know why some people act like since slavery ended, black people just had this easy, just way. No, it's not. We're still struggling, by the way, anyway. And if you think otherwise, you actually have to be dumb. Like, this guy has to be dumb, bro. I swear. I have nothing to say, man. Yeah, whatever, man. Just let the comments rush you, bro. I'm not even doing it.
I wholeheartedly believe that some people should not be allowed to reproduce because the world doesn't need more ignorance.
I don't mean this in a contentious way, but I really need us to start understanding intersectionality, because how are you going to come on here and talk about what black folks experience? How are you going to do that? Yes, a wealthy black person will have different advantages, but that's strictly due to their wealth. And it's not always the case. Let me blow your mind right quick. The wealthiest black women in this country are still 3 to 4 times more likely to die in pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum than the poorest white women in this country. I'll say it again. The wealthiest black women in this nation, per this information right here, are still 3 to 4 times more likely to die in pregnancy, childbirth, or in postpartum than the poorest white women. What does wealth matter if you're dying in the middle of childbirth? What does wealth matter if your doctors don't listen to you? What does wealth matter if your doctors have internal biases that look at you and think that your pain tolerance should be higher due to racism? That's just a racist thing to think. That they think that you're med seeking, that you're just trying to get medication. That's also a racist thing to think. Do you see how wealth doesn't matter when it comes to situations of race? And that's why we need to start talking about intersectionality way more. We need to talk about the unique concerns and circumstances that different groups experience, because it all comes into play when we're having these conversations.
I had seen this video about a black woman discussing what the microaggressions are and talked about enough, and she spoke up about how white people have a problem when it comes to black people with status or good, like a lot of success. And what I really want to talk about, and what I feel like the core of it is, it's not just the fact that yes, it's racism and and like how could you as a black person do it, but it's almost a slap in the face, because whether they want to admit or not, they know they're privileged. They know that they have a step up and advantage in the world and are already 10 steps ahead, and this world's going to cater to you by a lot of things. It's a systemic thing. You got a lot of advantage, I'll give you that. So to see you, and you know the drill, we have to work twice as hard for half of what they have to then not only make it, but surpass them. It's worse when you even go above them. Oh, that's hellfire. It's hard to wrap their head around with all the odds stacked against you. How the heck did you make it above me? That is how they look at it. It's not just the fact that a black person that's staying in a black person's zone, the black person's place, you're not supposed to be up here with us. It's just, it doesn't logically make sense in their own teeny tiny brains, because what? Like, I was ahead of you. I had so many opportunities more than you. Like, the world caters to me more than you. How the heck were you able to touch where I'm at? And even if I'm not at that spot, how the heck were you able to surpass me? And once I realized that, I don't know, I kind of got giggly about it. Shit, I'd be upset too. Like, wow, if I was a white person and I knew, hey, thank God I'm not though, so.
Real racism. I'll be honest. Black people are the most racist people, bro. Oh yeah, I know. They openly do it, and it's because and the reason why is because they're able to openly be racist with zero consequence, so they can say what they want to say. You know, like literally, I'll see them say the most deplorable things about white people, but they feel as that they can do it because of slavery and everything else like that. And I'm like, it's interesting because you guys perpetuate the very thing that you cry about the most. You guys perpetuate the very racism you claim white people are putting on you.
Bingo, and I call it black privilege. Many black Americans will complain about racism, say how horrible racism is, and then go and be racist. It's hypocritical. Now, you'll see a lot of people try to say that black people in America can be racist. That is idiotic. They absolutely can. And one of the biggest differences is that white people will hold other white people accountable when they're being racist. Many black Americans will find excuses for other black people when black people are being racist. In the vast majority of cases, we will not hold each other accountable. And the reasoning will be, you know, white people had us as slaves and they were racist back in the day. Something along those lines, redlining, yada, yada, yada. And there's no doubt what we went through in this country was terrible. If we want to move past racism like we say we do, many of us need to stop perpetuating it. And again, I call it black privilege because we're allowed to openly be racist with zero or minimal consequences. And I think it's a problem. If we want to minimize racism, we need to hold everybody who is racist accountable, not just people with certain skin colors who are racist accountable.
So this is what you call black privilege. Go check out the video to this comment. And just so you know, crying racism is not going to silence white people anymore. We don't care anymore. We're over it. The white guilt era has officially come to an end, unfortunately for you. I really hope that your job comes across this video. Yeah, that would be nice.
Before we say anything first, what is privilege? Let's just define privilege. Privilege means having certain advantage, benefits, or opportunity that other people may not have, often because of factors like race, gender, wealth, nationality, religion, or social status. Most privilege is unearned. You didn't personally work for it. System-based privilege is built into society institution and the often visible privilege to the person who has it. That is the definition of privilege, because they are claiming that, oh, white people, black people actually have privilege, because they are trying to let us know that in as much as they are enjoying it, we are also enjoying it. And he said it with context that they have every single thing to prove it. Now, this video is just for educational purposes, not to bash anyone. And let me put it out here. Some of the clips I use in this video are not just recently created. So let's just get that so that you don't think that they are just fleshly made. I just wanted us to discuss, have one-on-one discussion to understand if truly black people have privilege, because it has now been a thing of, if you keep searching and searching, you keep seeing a lot of white folks saying black people have privilege. Sorry, why am I saying black people? Black Americans have privilege, because obviously that is the people they are referring to, because most of these African countries, we are blacks. Now, let's digest this deeper. So let's talk about white privilege in America first of all. White privilege in America developed over centuries through policies that gives white people legal, economic, and political advantage. While excluding others, especially black Americans and Native Americans. Now, slavery built wealth for white America. That's the first one. Now, events like transatlantic slave trade for over 200 years, enslaved Africans were forced to work without pay. They labored, built massive wealth in cotton and tobacco industries, banking system, insurance company, shipping and trade. White slave owners and business accumulate generational wealth. Black family, meanwhile, were legally denied properties ownership and wages. Economic foundation of the U.S. were built largely through unpaid black labor, benefiting white families and institutions. The second one we have land ownership and reserved for whites. The US government gave millions of acres of land taken from Native Americans, mostly to white settlers, for free or very cheap. Black Americans were largely excluded due to discrimination and violence. While family gain farmland and assets, they create long-term wealth passing down to their generations, which is the white folks. Let's talk about segregation protected white opportunities. Now, laws like Jim Crow law, after slavery ended, segregation law, prevent black people from voting, block access to good schools, restricted jobs, enforced housing separation, while community had better funded schools, safer neighborhood, and stronger political power. White Americans have had fewer structural barriers to education, wealth, and influence. Let's talk about housing and loan. Banks and government agencies labeled black neighborhood as high risk, denying mortgage. White family deceived low interest home loan, especially after World War II. White families bought homes in growing property valued increase. Wealth were passed down to their generations. Today, the racial wealth gap is still partly tied to this policy. We have others which include criminal justice and social system, where studies show racial disparity in arrest rates, sentencing lengths, and police profiling. It's just so much if I want to start mentioning a lot of them. So now I just did a clear small talk show of what privilege is. Do you get? If not because black Americans are now knowing who they are and standing for themselves, do you think that black Americans will literally have anything in this present day? You were trying to tell me that black people also have privilege, but they still go to stores and get profiled. Even when they are paying with their money, they say they are stealing it. They have to recheck over and over. We've seen different type of videos. I've done videos like that and I've dropped them here. They still go to streets and they are asked, you don't belong here. Why are you here? Check the video I just dropped today. The first video I dropped today. Is that what privilege is all about? Is that what privilege is all about? There is a lot of things that as you are a white person, you can benefit that black people cannot benefit. So whenever you hear about privilege, gather it and give it to the white folks, because every single thing that black Americans are enjoying today is their labor, their sweat, not by privilege. You have the privilege. I saw a particular video where one white man said that privilege is when you are in the White House. That's not privilege. Privilege is when what is happening in slavery that time is still happening now. And you want to call it privilege, if not because a lot of black Americans are now speaking out. A lot of black Americans now know their rights. Oh, because they know their right now, that means it's actually a privilege? Is that what this man is trying to explain? I do not see anything black privilege, but please, this is for educational purposes. As a black American person that is watching, do you think black Americans literally have privilege? Please, I want to know. If you said yes, I'm going to take my correction from there, because I'm not seeing any privilege. I'm seeing just the hard work, the sweat that black Americans are putting into becoming who they are, whether they like it or not. Do you get? Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section if black Americans specifically, because they are the one that owns that particular video that those guys did. Let me know if they literally have privilege or not. And if they do, please, what are the privilege? I would love you to mention it in the comment section. So in my next video, I can do a video about black Americans' privilege. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And thank you so much for staying stick and hook with me to the end of this video. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please do it. Subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you supporting, liking, commenting, sharing my videos, dropping commentaries, dropping super thanks. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And thank you so much for staying stick once again. With no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos. I'm going to be saying bye and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.